Welcome to the FIB Strategist Position Update with me, Warren Peacock. Please remember you're welcome to contact us on our email addresses, dylan@thefibstrategist.co.za or warren@thetradersplace.co.za if you have any questions about any of these stocks. So I'm just going to do an update on the current positions that we're holding. I haven't had any new triggers lately. Just waiting now. Generally the shares are either totally running up or they're sitting in consolidations like Amat at the moment. So as soon as we get some decent triggers, I'll be adding into these positions. All right, so starting with Applied Materials, strong resistance there at that 211.88 mark. A close above that, break that candle's high, I'll be looking to add in there. The last position was entered just a close above that 50% mark, around 193.10 or so. Stop loss, I'm leaving my stop close below support, below that double bottom there at around 171. So either we get the breakout to the upside or I'm going to get stopped out and have to look for a new trade. AMD, so AMD is looking quite interesting, maybe a larger range. It looks like that ABC is complete to the downside with C any down at that 121.69 a share, and now I'm looking for that next run up. So what's happened is the close above the 61% level on that price fib there above 162.67 has happened, and AMD is pushed a little bit higher through that level. I haven't added in there yet. I'm looking for the break now above 187.46, close above that 100% of the fib or above resistance, and a distribution zone there. I am looking to add in above that. And if AMD does come off a little bit and give me an opportunity lower down, I'll be having another look at that as well. But for now, waiting for the breakout confirmation and keeping my stop down at that 128.49 level. And again, these are longer term trades. They're not really swing trades as such, more trend, trying to catch the trend and build into positions to make a decent return over time rather than trying to find a trade a day. So quite happy to just watch and wait now and look for that breakout on AMD. Amazon having a valiant effort at reaching the 200 again. Didn't quite make it there, back down at the 61% retracement level. 8 and 21 have crossed to the downside on Amazon. I'm leaving my stop loss below the 38% level there, 168.08. And looking to add in now. There's a few options here. As you can see, there's a couple of trigger lines back at that 78% level, or I can use the 8 crossing back above the 21 EMA, close of that, break of that candle's high to add in there. I'm only going to do that if it happens. When it happens, I'll have a look and see how close it is to my other entries. If it's too close, then it'll go in here as a trade, but then I won't be adding in at the same price. I already own the stock. So for now, again, just a waiting game, going into that. Buying season is basically November, the whole Christmas rally story. And essentially the best time to buy stocks is kind of late October, early November, holding them all the way through to March, April the next year. So that's generally where we get our biggest returns. So quite happy to just patiently wait for it to move. So stop hasn't changed, and next entry 8 above 21. Or through the 78% level there, or back up through the 100% resistance all-time highs up at 201.71. Googl really struggling to find some form of breakout confirmation, and we can just see still holding on that resistance. Didn't get through it. I'm looking to add in on Googl if I can get through that 50% mark there. I'm just going to set an alert so it does tell me when it happens, and that's where I'm looking to add in there. Otherwise, stop loss, price moving below support there at 146.91. So for now, holding on to it, looking for the break above the 50% mark, so close above that 169.37 area, and the break of that candle's high to add in there. Then Intel, nice, chart's looking pretty decent. It's been sold off quite heavily and the results have been poor, but the reasons for poor results is a lot of capital expenditure, building factories, and obviously if you keep up with these companies, there's lots going on in the news. And Intel, there's a lot of stuff up in the air about Intel, whether they're going to sell off their foundry business, whether they're going to deal with their retail boards and so on. Are they going to go put it in the market? Are they going to sell it off, or aren't they? Too many rumors, so I'm just following the technicals for now. I've got the higher low there, we've got the double bottom, we've got the current, what looks trying to be a higher low. So I'm quite happy with that initial change in trend. It's looking okay for now. As far as adding in goes, those fib levels, I just put them in there for the gap. So I'm looking for the break above resistance again, and I'm just going to put so let's get this right. It's not going to do it. Okay, let me just see if I can grab that line. Sorry guys, that's a bit of a oops on my part. You know what, I'm just going to draw another line in. So just looking for a close above it, and my alerts don't want to set. Okay, so that's not very there we go. Alright, and add an alert there at or above, and there it is. Make sure you've entered it correct. Okay, let's try that again. Sorry, there we go. Okay, sometimes software is a pain. Alright, so just to close above that 25 Rand mark and break at that high, I'm going to be adding into the Intel position. I'm leaving my stop loss on the lows, 1859. After that second entry there, depending on how the chart looks, if it goes up there in two big candles, I won't be adding in. But if it trickles up like it did over here, I'll be looking for that 127 break as well. Maybe even the 113, and try and get as many positions low down as I can, rather than trying to add in larger trades up at the highs. I'd rather just build it at these lows and then wait for it to make some money. Microsoft, so Microsoft selling off, giving us an ABC bounce there, and then promptly just rejecting that 440 level. So for now the stop loss is at a close below the 400.54 level, just off, just below that support there. But I am looking to re-enter Microsoft. If you have a look at their PE ratio 34, it is still very high. I'd prefer Microsoft somewhere at a P of 28 or so rather than above 30. But the technicals are going to win at the end of the day, and I'm looking to add into that. There's a few options now. If you don't have any positions, could be looking at that 38% level. So I am watching that for myself, 417.52. If it does continue to drop lower, then there's plenty of space on the downside to make new decisions. But for now, I've got a little alert there on a close above the 38% level, and a break of that high I'll add in. If I miss that trade, then I've got the 50% mark, and then ultimately the current immediate swing high, close above 441.71. I'll be looking to add in above that. Then Micron. So Micron is for me one of the better stocks going forward. Dylan's done quite a lot of fundamental research on it. Micron looking like the best trade out there at the moment as far as fundamentals go. Technically, a little bit struggling a little bit at the moment. We've got a solid double bottom there, essentially unconfirmed as price hasn't closed above the neckline. It opened above it, closed below it, kind of negating the whole idea. But for now, that short-term trend is up, 8 is above 21, and I am looking for a re-entry. So we got in quite early at the crossover there. You can see those green lines, and now I'm looking for that 50% mark. Nice close above 109.35, and break above that candle's high intraday to enter the next position. Unless something else changes, maybe 8 and 21 cross down and up again or something like that. I do prefer to cluster my entries early and then leave them to run over time. Nvda. So Nvda has now confirmed a break above resistance 131.45. It's closed above the 78% level, but I just think this range is a little bit tight. Nvda is very expensive, but it's apart from Micron, which is more of a growth stock still, Nvda is really a blue chip company now, and yeah, very strong stock, very strong business. They basically own the AI hardware market. But on the other side of that, to technically buy so close to resistance, I do find it difficult to do. But I am going to be adding in this afternoon if price does move through yesterday's high there. So I'm going to put an order in about 133.84. So just above yesterday's high, 133.48. So just looking for just below 134. And the stop loss for that will have to remain below the 100 Rand mark, which is quite a big risk. But there's nothing stops you exiting earlier and trading it again. But I'll be putting mine down on that initial stop loss level for the second trade. The first trade, the stop is still at the 90 Rand mark. And then Qualcomm in consolidation, I'm not too concerned about it. Stop loss down 151.29. And now just looking for the break above that 38 still. So close above 182.82. And break of that candle's high, I'll be adding into the Qualcomm trade, and quite happy to continue the AI bull market. And remember, these guys are all interlocked and interconnected in one way or another. They all talk to each other, use each other's products, and AI is just getting started. So that bull run I expect to run into at least 2027, and there's plenty of space here for these shares to go anything from 5 times to even 10 times some of them between now and then, and I want to be on board. As far as other shares go, outside of the tech sector, the pretty new channel on this basis. So as those shares come through, I'll start adding them in. For now, I've focused on the tech shares. As soon as we get some industrials or something like that triggering, I'll start including that in a separate portfolio. Thank you for listening. Please remember to like and subscribe, and you'll get our updates every time we post one. Cheers and trade safely.